Chapter 1 Late Returns, his POV, the librarian. The new science teacher was late again. Not to class. No. Savannah Wren was always precisely on time when it came to her students. But in the library, she'd linger, browsing the non-fiction aisle like she didn't know he was watching her from the front desk. She did know. Savannah was stunning, and she knew it. Golden waves that framed her face like silk. Lips parted like she was always halfway to a secret, and that sharp, detached intellect. He admired it even if it made him want to drag her down a few notches. Not everyone was immune to him. But she was, and that made Carter obsessed. He'd seen all kinds of teachers come and go through the school halls. Nervous ones, loud ones, even some who tried to flirt during faculty meetings. But her? She was untouchable. Cold. Not rude. Just distant. Like she didn't need anyone. Except she came here every day. Sometimes she didn't even check anything out. Just stood in the science section, fingertips brushing over the spines like they could whisper to her. Like she was searching for something he couldn't see. But Carter saw everything. He pushed his glasses up the bridge of his nose and turned a page, pretending to read while she hovered near the physics shelf again. She wore a tight forest green dress today, one that dipped just a little too low in the back. It was distracting. Dangerous. Mine. The word ran through his brain without permission. He swallowed it down. Looking for something in particular? He asked finally, voice low, smooth. Savannah turned slowly, lips curving into something not quite a smile. Just browsing. Her voice was calm, controlled. Carter set the book aside, standing. The library was empty, just the two of them now, and the hum of the flickering lights above. Second time this week you've browsed the same shelf, he said, walking around the counter. He didn't crowd her, but his presence filled the space between them. I like to revisit, she replied, eyes lifting to his. There's something comforting about familiarity. Carter studied her, jaw flexing slightly. That's strange. You don't seem like the type who likes being comfortable. That got her. Her gaze flickered, just for a second. He stepped a little closer. Do I make you uncomfortable? He asked, voice lower now. You keep coming back. Savannah didn't move. Didn't blink. You think I come back for you? I know you do, he said. Not arrogant, just sure. Because he'd caught her watching him when she thought he wasn't looking. Not with lust. Not yet. But with interest. And that was enough for now. Curiosity killed it. Her POV. The science teacher. Savannah liked control. She liked rules, boundaries, lines that didn't blur. Carter Bow was all blur. She'd underestimated him. At first, he was just the quiet librarian. Tall, lean, with dark hair that always looked too perfectly messy to be unintentional. He was observant, calculating. But he had a stillness to him, a quiet authority she'd chalked up to introversion. Until he started saying things like that. You keep coming back. I know you do. That smug, unreadable confidence drove her insane. It wasn't like her to get distracted, especially by someone who made her feel seen. He looked at her like she was a chemical reaction waiting to explode. The next time she visited the library, she didn't even try to hide it. She wore a deep-cut top under her blazer. Just to test him. See if he'd bite. He did. You're teasing me, Carter said, appearing behind her with a book she hadn't heard him grab. His voice was calm, but his eyes, possessive. Hungry. He handed her the book without touching her. Biochemistry of Attraction, she read aloud, subtle. Thought it might be your taste, he said smoothly. It's about chemicals that cause obsession. Her lips parted slightly. He leaned in just enough for her to smell the musk of his cologne, books and cedarwood. I can show you something in the back if you want, he said. Restricted shelves, not available to students. She tilted her head. I don't sleep with coworkers. I don't sleep, he whispered. I think about you instead. Savannah didn't flinch, but heat flushed her cheeks. She hated it. Hated the way her body responded to the intensity in his voice. She was used to being in control, but Carter wasn't like the others. He didn't want her because she was beautiful. He wanted her because she didn't need him. Chapter 3. Overdue third-person POV. The line cracked somewhere between a late-night hallway run-in and the sound of her name from his mouth like a prayer. She was in the science lab when he showed up. Unannounced. After hours. She turned, startled, but he was already locking the door behind him. Carter, she said cautiously. What are you doing? You've been avoiding me. I've been working. You've been hiding, he said, stepping closer. From this. She backed up until she hit the edge of the lab table. You need to leave. But he didn't. Instead, he leaned in, both hands bracing on the table beside her hips. caging her in. His lips were inches from hers. "Tell me to stop," he murmured. She didn't, so he kissed her. Hard. Desperate. Like he'd waited 1,000 years just to taste her. His fingers tangled in her hair, pulling her against him as if he could memorize the shape of her mouth. She gasped, and he used it to deepen the kiss, swallowing her protest whole. And in that moment, against the cold metal of the lab table, under flickering lights, Savannah realized something dangerous. She liked being wanted this way. She liked the way Carter's need for her tasted like hunger, not love. Like possession. Chapter 4, Chemistry Class. Her POV. She wore red lipstick today. Not for him, she told herself that. But she knew Carter Bow would be on desk duty during lunch, pretending to catalog returns while watching her walk past the library window. And he didn't disappoint. She felt his stare like a hand on her spine. Too familiar. Too heavy. Still, she didn't look his way. Not when he'd kissed her like that last week, like she belonged to him, and then didn't follow up with a single text, email, or hallway glance. It wasn't disappointment she felt. It was fury. And she refused to give him the satisfaction of asking why. So, Savannah made herself scarce. Today, though, she carried a stack of chemistry books into the library, pretending not to notice the way he stiffened when he saw her. His eyes were sharp behind his glasses, jaw set tight. "You were late," he murmured. "I wasn't aware we had a date," she replied coolly, placing the books on the return counter. Her blouse dipped low, deliberately. She watched his gaze flick downward before he snapped it back up. She smiled, sweet and vicious. "Eyes up, librarian." He gripped the edge of the desk. "You think I'm playing?" he asked, voice quiet, dangerous. Savannah leaned in slightly, close enough for him to smell her perfume, close enough to tease. "I know you are, but I play better." Then she turned on her heel and walked out without another word. Chapter 5, Cracked Spine. His POV. Carter. She was trying to break him. She wanted control. Wanted to punish him for not chasing after her like some pathetic schoolboy after a kiss. She thought silence was strength. He saw it for what it was. Fear. Savannah Wren was terrified of what he made her feel. He didn't just want her body. He wanted her unraveling. Her surrender. The tremble in her voice when he pressed too close. She could deny him 1,000 times. He only needed her to say yes once. So, Carter waited. He watched. And when she walked past the library again at the end of the day, her hair tied up messily and cheeks flushed from teaching, he stepped out and blocked her path. "Do you like torturing me?" he asked softly. Savannah blinked. "Excuse me." "You know I want you. You knew it the second I looked at you. And every day, you come in here. You kissed me and then ghosted me." He stepped closer, backing her up against the wall. "Because if I let myself touch you again, I wouldn't stop. Do you understand me?" Her lips parted slightly. "I'd ruin you," he whispered, voice shaking with restraint. "I'd make you forget your name, your job, your rules, and you'd beg for it." She didn't speak. Her breathing was uneven. But her eyes dared him. So he backed away. "You want control? Fine. You can have it. For now." Chapter 6, Third Person POV. They didn't talk for 3 days. But something shifted. He stopped watching her. Or maybe, pretended to stop. She didn't see him anymore in the halls. Didn't feel his stare through her classroom windows. The absence left her cold. Until the day she found a note. Slipped between the pages of a book she didn't remember checking out. The Chemistry of Human Desire. Inside, scribbled in neat handwriting. "I know you want this. You're just waiting for me to earn it. And I will." Beneath it, a single pressed violet petal. Savannah closed the book slowly. She hated flowers, hated poetry, hated the way he saw her behind the cold exterior. But what she hated most was how much she wanted him to win. Chapter 7, Engaged to Boredom. Savannah's POV. Marcus was safe. He had a 5-year plan, a country club membership, a tailored suit for every occasion, and a house they were almost ready to move into. But he didn't see her. Not the real her. Not the parts of her that Carter Bow somehow uncovered with just a look. Marcus didn't know she liked reading psychological thrillers at 2 a.m., or that she kept her phone on silent not to be polite, but because she hated being reached. Carter knew that. Knew her silences, her stillness. "Did you talk to the florist?" Marcus asked over dinner, his eyes on his phone. "They're still trying to confirm centerpiece arrangements." "No," Savannah said quietly. "I've been busy." He didn't look up, just hummed. Busy thinking about another man's hands on her skin, another man's breath on her throat. Savannah took a sip of wine and tried not to picture Carter's voice against her ear whispering, "Tell me to stop." Chapter 8, Uninvited guest. Carter. He saw the ring before he saw the man. A thin, pale gold band glinting on her left hand. He nearly laughed. Of course she had a fiancé. Of course she had someone safe. But she still watched Carter like she wanted him to pin her to the nearest bookshelf. Still walked past the library with heat in her gaze. Still flinched, just slightly. Whenever he brushed close enough to touch, he waited, he watched. And then he saw him. Marcus Hale. All clean-shaven arrogance and expensive shoes, holding Savannah's waist like he owned her. Carter's blood boiled. Later that night he pulled her file from the school records. He shouldn't have. But he did. Where she lived, where she transferred from, who her emergency contact was. Marcus Hale. The name burned in his brain. And then he did something worse. He printed a picture from Marcus's hospital bio page, hung it in the back room of the library. He stared at it every day, not with jealousy, but with patience. He won't see it coming. But I'll take her from him. Slowly. Carefully. Until she asks me to. Chapter 9. Savannah's POV. She kissed him again. That was the mistake. It happened in the science lab. Dim lights, late evening, thunder rolling in the distance. He said her name like a promise, and she let herself believe she could have him just once without consequence. But the second his hand slid under her blouse, everything in her screamed stop, so she pushed him. Hard. Don't touch me, she said.
I made a mistake.
Carter's expression didn't change. No, you didn't, he said. Calm. Too calm. You came to me.
I'm engaged.
I don't care.
Well, I do. Whatever this is, it doesn't happen again.
She backed up until her spine hit the table.
I'm protecting what I've built, my reputation, my life.
Carter's eyes flicked over her, slow and angry. Hurt simmered just beneath the surface, masked by the smooth chill in his voice. You're lying. No, he stepped closer. You're protecting him. Savannah clenched her jaw. You think he deserves you? Carter asked, voice low now, sharp. That man doesn't see you. He doesn't know you flinch when you laugh too hard. That you only drink tea when you're anxious. That you mouth your lectures while walking. I do. Her heart pounded. And yet, she whispered.
And yet, he never made me feel like I was falling apart.
Carter flinched. For the first time since she met him, he looked good, she thought. Let him hurt. Let him bleed. Maybe that would stop him. But then he spoke again. Quieter this time. Say it, he murmured. Say you don't want me. Savannah's lips parted, but the words wouldn't come. Because they would be a lie. She saw it in his eyes, he knew.